Good morning, LBC Radio. My name is Corey Rosen, and you are listening to the Story Podcast. Today, I have on a super awesome guest, Mr. ALEX STANILLA.
Hello.
The protagonists of ALEX STANILLA's songs live at the intersection of fact and fiction, the push and pull between introspective honesty and rich character study. I'm really inspired by film, the Lebanon, PA based singer songwriter says. My lyrical style tends to take an impressionistic view of films with the subtext of watching it through a different lens and using it to interpret my life. Stanilla's life has seen its fair share of musical milestones. For starters, he performed at Carnegie Hall as a 10-year-old violinist, but now his latest acts puts his cinematic songwriting style and film degree on full display. His self-released single, favorite song, is awash in indie rock groove and meditative poise, ruminating on the 1979 musical drama All That Jazz and its semi-autobiographical look at the life of Bob Fosse. It is rough around the edges passion seeded with grand ambitions, richly intimate soul-searching storytelling that manages to resonate on a universal level. There is a refreshing level of self-awareness in Stanilla's songs from his 2017 LP mixtape Qualia, later reissued in 2019, to a prolific 2020 to 2021 single release series. And while some minor details have at times been changed to protect the guilty, namely himself, an air of authenticity still permeates every note of his music. He plays all of those notes himself on every instrument, equally inspired by the tenderness and inward turmoil of Elliott Smith, the eccentricity of synthy electropop, and the energy of underground bands like Chiodos, Circo Survive, and Dance that influenced his early years. Alex, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks. How you doing, Corey?
I'm doing pretty good, man. You have a long career and a lot of talent to go around for you. Where did it all start?
Well, I started taking violin lessons when I was 5.
5.
Um, but I did take some breaks from all the music stuff. It's not like I've been actively like a musician for 25 years. I think, yeah, actually, it's kind of funny. I just saw um, one of my music teachers last week. I think I was 14 when I didn't wanna play violin anymore, and he told me that would be the biggest mistake I'd ever make in my life. Um, and then a couple years after that, I did start playing guitar, but, yeah, I saw that guy the other day, and I was a little too timid to, he didn't remember me.
Oh
You
no.
know, I was with a friend, and, I really wanted to be like, "Hey, remember me? You're the guy who told me, I'd really regret, stopping playing violin," and I don't regret it, but, yeah. No, I think it was probably good that I took a break from that kinda, I kinda took a break from, like, arts and music when I was a teenager just because I think I did get into it very young, and when you're I don't know, I thought it was I guess I got to a point where I was like, "Oh, man, violin's lame," like, "Music's lame, I wanna play sports," and then I grew out of that too. Um
So, uh, in the bio mentions you got into Carnegie Hall. How did that happen?
Yeah, so my violin teacher, Miss Connie Stamball, she, she had connections there, and, she brought a group of, we took, she taught Suzuki, the
Suzuki. Okay.
Suzuki method,
Yeah.
so she had a group of the Suzuki, method students that went to New York for a day, and we played, Pachelbel Canon. Um, yeah. I don't remember what the program was. There was, like, an orchestra playing, and
Mhm.
then there was, like, an intermission, and then we all played at the, so
That's good. Did it set in for you that you knew what was happening then?
no,
Or
no,
yeah,
at the
clearly.
time at the time, it was like, "Oh, cool, we get to go to New York for the day," and like, "Hey, I'll play a song at this big place," you know? It was really cool, but it's only, like, much later in life that I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that was quite the opportunity," I don't you know, for yeah, yeah.
So you hit the spot in your teenage years when you're like, "Ah, music's dumb." And why do you come back?
I got cut from the basketball team. I was really into basketball, loved it, was not very good.
Mm,
Um, I was always actually, I think by that time, for a while, I was always the smallest kid in the team. But I was always just not, somehow I'd made the team every year, but I just never played. And I just always had it like in my head that I'm like, all right, this is the year I'm gonna have my breakout year and I'm gonna be, really good. And yeah, so stopped playing violin, basketball. Coach came to me after tryouts like, hey, sorry, it's just not gonna cut it this year. We appreciate all you've done, and yeah, I think we both know, this isn't really going anywhere. And I was pretty devastated, at the time. I mean, looking back on it, it's a really stupid little thing, but
right.
yeah, I definitely, channeled I definitely was, though, when I think back on it, all that time, even though I wasn't really, like, playing an instrument, I was still writing songs.
Mm.
Like, I was always writing, and I don't think I necessarily knew I was writing lyrics. I was just I guess more like poetry, you know what I mean? But I did realize one day, I was like, "Oh my goodness," like, I have this just notebooks full of words, and I kind of, you know, know my way around the guitar a little bit. I was like, "I'm just gonna sit down and really start figuring this thing out."
So what was it
Mm.
like for you writing wise? What all stuff did you write down?
I wrote a lot of I actually really first I think because of basketball, I was really into hip hop actually at first. And I was always writing to it's really funny. I had a friend in middle school who, his brother would always get these, mix CDs. I guess he knew, like, a lot of people in Philly or something, and I would give him $5, which at the time, it's probably, like it'd be, like, $20 nowadays, you know what I mean? Like, this was, like, 2005, 2006, but I would give him $5, and he'd make me these mix CDs of these, like, really cool hip hop beats that his brother would get from producers or whatever in Philly, and, like, actually a lot of artists that ended up getting, like, pretty famous later on were on these like,
Oh,
this is,
wow.
like, before they really took off, I don't know, anyway. So I would just have these, like, instrumental beats, and, I'd listen to it on the bus and stuff, I'd, write to it, and, I always played, like, basketball video games and stuff or basketball movies, like, it was always, like, hip hop was, like, the soundtrack, so I was just, like, really into hip hop
So you
at
must have loved
first.
Space Jam.
Yeah, yeah, so yeah, Space Jam, like Mike, all those movies, yeah, so yeah, really, at first writing it was so with hip hop, it's or I found it was, like, very, like, stream of consciousness, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, just, like, trying to more worried about, like, the rhyme and the flow necessarily than, like, what things mean, so that was, like, my early, I guess, you know, foray into writing. Uh,
So how did you develop that? You graduate high school, you decide what do you want to do with your life?
yeah, well, I went to school in Philly, I studied, screenwriting,
Mm.
writing for film and television, and then I minored in creative writing, and I actually did take a little bit of a break with music too during college. I just kinda dabbled, um, but really, yeah, just kinda I don't know, it's just college was a very strange time. I don't know, I was really trying to I made T-shirts at one point. And I just dipped my toe into all kinds of stuff. I was, like, making, like, video advertisement. I was just doing all kinds of stuff, and somebody kinda sat me down one day and was like, "Hey, you can dabble in a lot of different things, but you're never gonna really excel. You have to kinda pick something that you really like to do." And they're like, "1, 2, 3, say the thing that you really like to do, and you should really focus on that." And just the first thing came out, I was like, "I like to make music." I was
Mm.
like, "Oh, crap. Guess I
Crap.
guess I need to focus on that now." If that's like, but yeah, so then my senior year of college, I kinda sat down and, I got an interface. It was, an M box. Did you ever have an M box? Are you familiar with
No.
the M box? They were like kinda like the Scarlett before
Okay.
It kinda preceded the Scarlet. So now it's like everybody gets the Scarlet.
Right.
Before the Scarlet, it was the M box.
Gotcha.
And it was actually really cool. It had those old school outputs that you can hook up, like, a cassette player to and
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Yeah.
really made for, so, yeah, I got an M box, and I learned how to record, and I recorded this terrible album that's still out somewhere on the internet probably. Um, yeah, and then I guess ever since then, I've just been trying to make music.
So, why do you say it's a terrible album?
Oh, well, I mean, I just didn't you know, I mixed everything myself, and I just didn't I don't have the courage to go back and listen to it right now, but I just know it's gotta be I was very ignorant. It just I had to get it all out.
I see.
It was like, all the songs I've been writing since I was a teenager, and I was like, "Man, I gotta make this album. It's gonna change my life or something," and it just, recorded very hastily. I have n no idea, just throwing plugins on willy-nilly, thinking that it's gonna make everything sound better, you know what I mean? Like, didn't, probably didn't tune any guitars before it was very, very quickly, hastily made. Um, yeah, um
So, you're set to come out with some new stuff now, right?
Yeah. Yep, have, actually just put out a song today's Tuesday. Yeah, last Monday put out a song, um, and then have another one coming out in March, and then I really must have either hit, like, a very creative period of my life last year, or I just had, like, a lot of free time, but I ended up recording a whole bunch of different stuff, like, I recorded, it's funny that you were asking about, um, when I first started making music, because I wrote and recorded this, it's 4 songs, and one of the songs I brought today, but it's totally, just vocal and acoustic guitar project, like, very, very, very minimal. Different name, the name is Arcadia Exeter, so that'll actually be out next month on my birthday, and it was kind of just like a total, like, passion project as far as, like, just wanting to make, like, very simple, stripped down songs akin to when I first started, like, recording music. So that's coming out, and then have another, I guess it's, like, dream pop-ish or, like, just another side project that were kinda like leftover songs from I guess my main project is just the music I make under my own name. So these were songs that I liked, but I think were just didn't quite fit in with, what I was making, and then kind of allowed me to, um, get really into, like, focused on, like, that genre, like, really dive into, just the types of samples or uh, chord or synth patches and stuff and guitar tones, I guess, that people in that world make that I might not have wanted to use before because I thought it'd be too cliche or too on the nose or something, but I was like, "No, I really wanna explore a genre and just kinda make it sound as cliche and generic as possible." So I'm hoping that's all recorded, I actually just got the artwork back for that, but hoping that that'll be out in, like, May or June. That's another 4-song one.
So, how has your writing style changed from as opposed to a kid as to now?
Yeah, it's probably actually pretty similar in that I think a lot of it just starts with, like, the light bulb going off, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, you're brushing your teeth or you're, tying your shoe, and it's like you get, like, a melody in your head or something. That's usually how it starts for me. Um, yeah, but I guess the thing right now, I have a little bit more free time than I've had the past couple years. I've been very working a lot and just always on the go, and I've had to do a lot of, like, I was working at a coffee shop, so I get an idea, and I have to run to the bathroom really quick and do, like, a voice memo or run into, like, the freezer, run outside, or, like, um So when I was younger, I had the free time. I get an idea, I could just go right downstairs and, like, record it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So then I had to get used to having to, like, try to remember things on the fly, um, but then, like, actually just last week, wasn't feeling very well, so I was home all day, and I wrote every day I wrote a song, you know what I mean? Just home, sitting there with a guitar, and like, "Oh, that's cool," and then next thing you know, I'm like, "Wow, nice." So that was actually probably very similar to how I wrote as a teenager. I just haven't had the time in the
Do
last
it.
10 years to do it. Um, so that was nice to kinda go back to that and not have to, I guess, force it, you know, because then as you get older and you don't have time anymore, and you're like, "I only have this window of time to get this song done, I should probably," and then I don't think it always comes out as good as it can,
Right.
you know? Yeah, mm.
So you talked about exploring genres. What other genres would you like to explore? You talked about dream pop. You have a folk background as well.
Yeah. Um, I'm always making, for better or worse, like, little hip hop songs. I actually do have another I call it a joke rap project. It's called Walrus Eyes. Um, I don't know where that name came from, just but that actually is sometimes that's my creativity catapult.
Mm,
Like, if I feel really stuck, I'm like, "Alright, I'm just gonna make a stupid rap song." Like, stupid, just not like, no judgment, judgment-free, you know? That's kinda my, like and I realized over the years I've done that enough that I have, like, a 10-song album, you know what I mean? Like, it it does really help, I think, uh, kinda get get you into, like, a judgment-free zone. Like, if you make something really stupid and really fun and really silly. I also have been writing some kid songs. Like,
oh,
I have a song
nice.
called Stinky Cheese. Just like if I'm in a rut and I can't get creatively inspired, I'm like, you know, whatever. I'll just make the Stinky Cheese song or sing the Stinky Cheese song, and, um, that might be my, like, if I'm, like, 45 and not anywhere with the whole music thing, I'll just put out a kids album and, hopefully that will pay some bills. I have that in my back pocket.
That's awesome. Well, it's really good as a musician to like just write stupid songs sometimes because you can't be inspired. You can't write Rocket Man every single day, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough.
That's what I like to do. I like to pick a genre and say, okay, what's all this genre typically about, and then make the most cliche, stupid song
Mm.
about it, because that's what you're gonna learn most about.
Yes, right.
So tell me, what are some of the you? What's one of your favorite genres to do? Is it the
Ooh,
dream pop?
that's a very good question. It tends to fluctuate.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, this actually, um, I've been getting really into this past week. Um, I I kind of created like a little doll list setup. I have a Zoom, kind of looks like that thing. It's called a Zoom R8, and it's just like a standalone mixer recorder. And then I have this thing, actually what I use for my live shows is called a black box. It's really cool, and it's basically like a doll in a box, and you can make
Wow.
beats and record with it and stuff. So I've been getting really into making, like, lo-fi hip hop beats, but without a DAW, which at first was very challenging because I feel like so
Sure.
much of that lo-fi hip hop thing is very DAW centric, you know what I mean? Especially getting, just the tones and stuff.
Right.
And I don't know why I wanted to tackle it with this, like, DAW-less setup, but for the past week, I've just been very interested in, like, "Alright, how can I, like, recreate this with all this, like, standalone equipment away from a computer?" That's been cool. Um, but I guess as far as writing goes, yeah, probably, like, um, the dreamier, like, synthy, electro pop kinda stuff is probably I like making something that I can eventually get to, like, a really cheesy, catchy hook.
Mm,
I think that's, like, the roadmap that I like to go down. Like, maybe start it off kinda interesting and maybe a little, for lack of a better term, like, jazzy or even though it's not jazz, but maybe, like, a little more intricate, and then eventually get to a place that's, like, 4 on the floor, generic chord progression,
This is
very
pop.
catchy.
Yep.
Yeah, just get yeah. But start off with like, maybe it's going pop, maybe it's going pop, maybe not, and then bam, like catchy. That's my favorite thing to do.
So we have one of your songs. Which one do you want to play first?
We can do overtime. So
Okay,
this one will be out in March. Um,
tell me about it.
yeah, I guess it's like a little bit more mature sounding than a lot of the stuff. It was actually recorded at the Kaleidoscope
Oh
with those guys.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had those guys on. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
Ed Roth and John Smith, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. And then I don't know if Joe Fuchsia,
Joe Fuchsia.
he played drums on this too.
Okay,
So he's kind of in
the circle.
their
Yeah.
circle. Yes. So he's kind of like their drummer, and he's an amazing all around musician. But anyway, this one I just played piano and guitar and sang on. There's a theremin in it.
A theremin.
Ben Roth played the theremin. You should be able to
No
tell.
way.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool little.
That's cool.
Yeah, this one's fun. This is a fun little one.
For those who don't know what a theremin is an instrument that uses radio waves, and you use your hand to get closer to like the metal thing.
The metal thing. Yep.
The metal thing is what you call
That's
it.
the technical term for
Typical
it.
term. And it sounds like, if you've ever heard any Halloween music that sounds like a ghost. Woo! That's the theremin.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to hear this.
Cool.
This is Alex Stanilla's Overtime.
I think devil's working overtime, running demons round inside my mind. Make you so your voice is hard to find. Introduce you to a million lines. Everyone around you talks the same. Glad I had you written down with the page. Wrote it all and printed at my age. The company you keep is lame. Working overtime, working all the time. Blame it on the grind. Let me sign the dotted line. Feel how to this trying. Baby, why you crying? Anything that cuts you up. Use me, lose me, please don't cry. Swear the God gave me a sign. Casting shadows against the candlelit cave. Explain to you for the attention that I crave. You don't trust decisions I made. Working all the time, working all the time. Blame it on the grind. Let me sign the dotted line. Feel I had to try. Baby, why you crying? Anything to catch your eye. Lose me, please
and that was Alex Stanilla's Overtime. That was a really cool. The theremin part. If you didn't hear it, it was during the instrumental with the synthy sounding almost. And you doubled that with a guitar,
Yeah, an ebo,
ebo. That's really cool. It's a really cool sound.
the
I really
genius
like
of
that.
Ben Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you like to put together these charity compilations. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yep. So Some Bite, it's called Some Bite Records. All Bark, Some Bite is the done 3 so far. 2 Christmas, Halloween one, and then next 4. So this upcoming Valentine's Day will be the 5th. Usually try to do them around holidays. Try to do 4 a year. And then you can donate on Bandcamp, and all the proceeds go to a local animal shelter or vet clinic or something like that. Yeah, so if you're an artist out there, you want to contribute a song, going for love songs if possible because it's Valentine's Day theme, but honestly, would take anything at this point. Send them my way.
So why did you start this? What's the passion behind it?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted to do something kind of like that. The phrase "all bark, some bite" was just floating around my head for a while. Um, no offense to people, but I did want to do something that would help animals because I feel I'm like stuff with people. I feel like it gets messy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I feel like you might donate to one cause and then somebody be like, "Oh, why'd you that cause?" You know, the person who runs that
Right.
once kicked a horse and they're
Once
a
kicked a
terrible
horse.
person for being a horse kicker. They're a horse kicker. You donated to a horse kicker or something. And I'm like, oh great. So I'm like, all right, I do want to have some sort of charity based thing. It just all be animals. Yeah, I have a cat. He's a good buddy of mine. So I was like, it'd be nice to Oh, and also too, I also do want to extend the whole the the proceeds so far have gone to uh, independent vet clinics and stuff. But if ever like a story comes up where it's somebody's like they have a pet and that needs some crazy expensive surgery or procedure done or something like that, um, would be more than willing to have like the proceeds of a compilation or something go towards that. Um, you know.
So how's it been like? Because it's hard to write Christmas songs. It's hard to write. Well, it's not hard to write love songs, but Halloween songs. How do you get those in? How have you added your own to those songs?
So the
Or
Halloween one was a bit of a stretch and was kind of confusing for people. Hopefully this year's one will be a little bit, but it was all covers of local artists, if that makes
okay,
sense. So somebody did one of my songs. I did a song by Kevin Whitaker. Um, it was all people covering artists
other
in this
songs.
scene.
I see.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of times Halloween is associated with like, covers, like people play like a cover show or something like that.
Or
And
sometimes they put a cover over themselves and
it's
pretend to be a ghost.
exactly, yes, exactly. And I feel like it gets so messy, like the legal ramifications of like asking for donations and covering another person's music.
Right.
So I was like, let's just keep it,
Keep it local.
yeah, people that aren't making any money already, so they shouldn't worry too much if somebody's making.
And it's like it's collaboration anyway.
Exactly, exactly.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's for a good cause.
Yep.
That's awesome. So if you have any love songs that you would like to submit, where can they do that?
Yep. You can send them to me on any social medias or have somebiterecords@gmail.com. There's a Somebite Records Instagram, Facebook, and a website. You can check out all that stuff. And all the compilations too are on Bandcamp, somebiterecords.bandcamp.com.
And make sure to buy them on Bandcamp because that's where all the money goes.
I think there's a band. Yeah, this Friday there's
This
a big.
Friday, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's every Friday, isn't it?
The
Every
first
Friday?
it's the first Friday of every month.
Only the first Friday of
Yeah.
every month. Yeah, so if you don't know, Bandcamp Fridays, that's where all of the purchases go directly to the artists. So be sure to check that out. And First Fridays in Lancaster, you can always go check out that
Perfect.
downtown anyway. Yeah,
Win-win. Yep.
win-win. Absolutely. So, what do you plan on the next one? Do you have one coming up this Valentine's? What other holidays would you want to get around?
I was trying to do something like 4th of July-ish, like summertime, and
Like
like
Patriot songs or
maybe or just like summery
Summery songs.
songs, you know, stupid sunny. If you want to do something patriotic, you know, more the merrier. That'd be kind of fun, actually.
just a bunch of marches?
I guess a lot of those are probably public domain too, right? You could do like a cover or something like that, and probably not have to worry too much about it.
Yeah, like American the Beautiful or something like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can make it like a dream pop version of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a cool challenge. There we go.
I always in my college years, I got a group of friends, a circle of friends, and we all had this musical challenge week that I set up. So it would be like one week. What the first week would be like, we'd pick a theme, right? And it would be, what does your pet say when you get home,
Wow.
right? And then so you have 1 week to come up with the lyrics,
Hmm.
and then 1 week to come up, and then we would post it, and anybody could choose any of the songs, and they would have to come up with the music for it afterwards.
Mm.
So it was a real collaborative spot. And some people did, dogs or cats, or some people did a hamster, or stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the challenges was to take a popular song and just re-genretize it.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Like, I know one of my friends, he wasn't a part of this, but shout out to Cody Kilburn. He takes Michael Jackson's Billie Jean and turns it into a slow rocking blues tune.
I could hear that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm always interested. Or do you know Adam Neely? Ever heard of him?
Yes, that name sounds so familiar.
He's a bassist based out of New York City, and he's taken "Thank You Next" by Ariana Grande and Adele's "Hello," and
Okay.
he reharmonizes it all, and it's
Cool.
it's really cool. Stuff like that always captures my imagination.
Right.
So that'd be really cool to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
to re-genretize old songs.
Yes. Maybe you have to put the feelies out now so people have enough time to get it done by summer. That's the other thing is with the Halloween one last year, I think I told people about it in May, thinking like, oh, by October, a lot of people have, but you know how musicians and artists are.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah, I'm the same way. But yeah, I was really hoping I'd get. So yeah, for this year, if you're an artist out there, learn somebody else's song in the scene, record it. It can just be a very simple recording, and then we'll have a really cool compilation for Halloween this year.
Yeah. That'd be really cool. I'm gonna get some of my friends on that.
Nice, please do.
And I might send you some stuff for the Valentine's stuff too.
Please do. Thank you.
So, what else do you want to do in the future?
Well, right now I'd love to play a lot of shows right
Mm.
now. Having kind of a tough time at the moment booking stuff. Um, yeah, I'd love to be gigging a lot.
By yourself or with others?
Kevin Whitaker's been playing drums with me. Um, so right now we have a little have backing tracks that play the bass and keys. He plays drums, and I sing and play guitar. I've actually been thinking about I would play bass and sing, and then find because nobody wants to play bass right now. I don't know if you're looking for a bass player. If you're a bass player out there and you want to play with, please. But for some reason, nobody wants to play bass at the moment. I don't blame them. But yeah, I was thinking about maybe I would just have to play bass and then find somebody to play. But yeah, I'd love to have like a whole bunch of people playing with me, and
I'll play keyboard.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
want.
if it's not that hard.
I
for me
think
to
you
play.
figure out. Yeah,
I'll figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. So do you have any other projects going on at the time, or?
Yeah, I feel like I always have. Still have a couple songs. Need to finish at the Kaleidoscope. they're like mostly there. Just need to put like some finishing touches on them. Been toying around with. I've been kind of writing a short form content TV show thing.
Yeah.
It's called. It would be kind of like a mix between The Office. It basically like a documentary film crew would follow around like a bunch of content creators,
Okay.
and like one guy has recently gone viral, and just seeing how that's like sort of changed his like day to day. But like lots of people like talking to a camera and going over like just stupid like content creation stuff, like being like fire emojis are a big hit right now. You can really just talking about all the stuff that goes into social media. So I have a pilot written, and again, like I was talking about earlier, like you can really you can dive into a lot of different things, but not necessarily like excel at them.
Yeah, master of trades, or well, jack of all trades,
She's
master of none.
master
Yeah.
none, yeah. So I'm always like, oh, I'd love to like film this and edit it and make it, but I'm like, how much time is that gonna take? And then is that gonna detract from like all the music I'm working on right now? Yeah, I mean,
Right. And then
but that
money and cost. And
yeah, but that's so yeah, if you're also like a local filmmaker, people out there and want to help with a TV show, that'd be cool. Um,
well, don't underestimate the power of like TikTok or stuff like
I
that, because
know.
I know people would eat that up
Exactly,
over
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah.
Short form video content is king for all those musicians that don't know
Yes,
it.
yes, yeah.
So, out of all of the things that you've done, what are some of the funniest things that ever happened to you on like a gig or?
I think about this all the time. It was my first time, probably the only real tour I've done too. I did it right before the pandemic, but I was playing a show in Brooklyn, and the sound guy, um, it's kind of sad, but also I just, oh my goodness, it's like the thing that cracks me up whenever I need a pick me up. Couldn't read.
Wait, what?
The sound guy couldn't read. And he was just like he was a cartoon character of a man. His name was John, and, just a very confident New York guy, but he would be like, "Alright, up next, we got, Alex Stownley Stout," and we'd be like, Stanilli's like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." And, like, the whole night, it would just be, like, him trying to pronounce things and say things and be, like, reading it and be like, and he was just really he was a really funny guy. He had this, like, AM radio, like, he he was like, I forget what I said. I said something about, like, how, I say I'm gonna do a lot of things, but I don't do them. Just, like, setting up stuff on stage and, like, it was like, "Oh, man, like, I should really set up this pedal board better, but I always say I'm gonna do things, I don't do them." He's like, "Not me, bro. Check this out." And he pulls out this, like, AM radio, and he was like, "Check it out, got this from a scrapyard. It was only 20 bucks." And he's like, "Check it out, get any channel on here." And it was, like, just static. And he's like, "Just wait, just wait, just wait." He's like, "Ah, it's not working right now." But just, like, the whole night, this guy was such a character. Um, yeah, it's probably the funniest guy I think I've met in all the
With like
music.
a classic New York accent
Yeah,
too.
yeah, super New
Oh no,
York. Um,
that's so funny.
he, was always, like, not doing his job, sounded terrible. I'd have to go get him before every band would play. He'd be, like, outside just talking to people, smoking a cigarette, and I'd be like, "John, come on." And before, like, the one band played, I was like, "John, come on, they're ready to go." And he has a cigarette, he's like, "Let's do this." And he just, like, throws it out and just, like, walks in, and, like, you just know there's, like, a movie going on in this guy's head all the time, and he's the
He's a
star,
character.
and yeah, like, yeah. Yeah, so John, if you're out there, man, what an awesome guy. Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like every New Yorker, at least those with the true New Yorker accent, always have great stories.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's
All
like
of our
a yeah,
characters.
he's like a very I could just tell he was born and raised in Brooklyn. Probably never left like a 10-block vicinity. Was like born right down from the venue that he does sound at, and he's just, um, 'cause, you know
Nothing exists outside of there.
Yeah, yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
What are some of the worst things that have ever happened to you?
Actually, that night this wasn't the worst, but that night, a lot of our so I was on tour with 2 other guys, and all of our sleeping arrangements in Brooklyn fell through, and 3 guys we all had colds. This was before COVID, thank goodness. But 3 guys, we drove my Honda Accord? It's tiny, sedan car, and, we had to sleep in my car, and, could not get the window to air conditioning situation right,
Oh no.
and tried leaving the sunroof cracked, but then it started raining. Just
Oh
did
no.
not sleep, and then had to drive to Connecticut the next day, and I've driven before, sleep deprived, but this was, like, equal parts, like, sick, sleep deprived, um, probably malnourished, driving through, Connecticut traffic, which is just horrible.
Is it really?
Oh my goodness, yeah, there's something about it. The way people drive coming out of New York for some reason, like, it's like bumper to bumper, but, like, 90 miles an hour, and there's, like, no respite. Like,
Oh no.
there's no lane that you can get in that's, like I think it's 'cause people get out of the New York traffic jam and they just
You're like, thank
fly.
God.
Yeah, yeah, they just kick it, and I was just not prepared for it, and I just remember driving, like, just in a horrible headspace and being like, "This is horrible." Like, I thought tour would be cool, and, like, this is oh my goodness, it's only, like, the first night. Like, this is, um so, yeah, from meeting John and having a really good time to driving 7 hours in a
Connecticut, right?
yeah, in not a great spot,
I'd say
that comes to
dri
mind.
I'll add to your point, driving out of New York, I could drive in New York fine because it's all
Mm,
bumper to bumper really slow. That's okay, that's cool. Unless there's taxis around you, then it's kinda chaotic.
yeah.
But driving on, like, the Brooklyn Beltway,
Mhm.
I have had almost 4 accidents happen in the span of 1 day.
Sounds about right.
Dude, because it stopped immediately, I stopped immediately, and then I saw the car stop immediately. Thank God they didn't hit me, but 2 cars hit them.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah, right behind me, and I was like, "Oh
Mhm.
my god." Or traffic stops right in front of you from 30 to 0 in a second,
Right.
and then you get and, I'm not ready for this, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit that car." Thank God there was enough room between me and the left lane, I just swerved and got out of the way.
Yes, right.
But it's like, how do New Yorkers and not only that, but how what ungodly being
Yeah.
do they have to be or state do they have to be in to do that? And then what happens if they get in a crash? It's gonna get 10 times worse with all the traffic.
Right, right.
I am so concerned for New Yorkers.
Yeah, I know, it's kinda beautiful though,
It's
all
kinda
this
it is
all this chaos, people somehow kinda get along all day, for the most part.
and if anything, it's really funny to watch their reactions.
Yeah, 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 always entertaining.
Always yeah, always
Exhausting.
entertaining. Exhaustingly so,
Yeah,
yes.
but
So what was it like to was that your first tour that you guys did?
yeah, and that's pretty much the only one I've done some, like, weekenders, but, yeah, so that was about 2 weeks. It started in Philly and then ended up in Portland, Maine.
Oh, nice. That must
Yeah.
have been was it in summer or
Yep, yeah, June.
that
Yep.
must have been really nice to be nice and kinda cold up in Maine.
Yeah, it was, like, perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, nice, but also there's, like, a mist
Yeah.
coming off of the bay? The harbor? I don't know what's in Portland, Maine. Whatever body of water's there. It's
It's
just
probably
blowing gently on you all day, and it's just, like, crisp and, like, the sun's out, but it's also, like, you get this, like, nice
chill.
breeze. Oh, yeah, it's good stuff.
Probably good food good seafood up there too.
So, the guy that I went on tour with, and I only found this out, when we were about 20 minutes outside of Portland, Maine, is deathly allergic to shellfish.
No.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
like, if he's, like,
no.
in open air so we couldn't really go in any restaurants or anything.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, that's, like, the
Yeah,
one
couldn't
thing to not be allergic
yeah,
to
yeah,
up there.
yeah,
That's all they got.
but God bless Dylan, yeah. Yeah. So didn't really get to partake. The food I did have there was very good though. Stayed with a friend and he made these like incredible. He was like a vegan cook or something like that. He
Oh,
made these like
wow.
vegan burgers and they oh my goodness, they were so good. And they weren't big, but I remember being so full afterward. 'Cause like I feel like it was just full of like
Nutrients.
yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, it must be great to eat this way all the time. Like eat things that actually
Feel you.
yeah.
Not like McDonald's or
Right.
Burger King or whatever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff.
What a kind of that's a side chain. I was like, I wonder what kind of side chain restaurants they have up there.
Oh, yeah, that's the kinda cool thing about Portland, though, is I feel like a lot of it was mom and pop.
Yeah. It kind of has to be. The population over there is like 0,
Yes, right.
and there's nobody around.
Yeah.
Only bears,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I think I like about the Northwest and the Midwest really too.
Mhm.
It's all just mom and pop stuff.
Yes, yeah.
It's really nice. So, would you ever want to go on tour again?
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely.
What are some places you want to go hit?
Um, for some reason, I really wanna go to Michigan. I've never been there. Just
Why?
well, I don't know if I'm
Why
I
Michigan?
guess if I'm gonna I wanna hit all the states in my life.
Okay.
So if I'm gonna go through them, I wanna at least be playing a show too, you know what I mean?
Right.
Um, so yeah, I mean, but apparently Detroit is having this really cool
Renaissance.
yeah,
Yeah.
very interested in that. Even just some little, like, hole in the wall town in Michigan. In my experience, hole in the wall towns have really cool music scenes. Like, it's just yeah, I'd actually rather prefer to play middle of nowhere places than, your Philadelphias and New Yorks anymore. Like
Right. And it's at some point it's just too dangerous.
yes, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Especially like Detroit or Chicago or Philly,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
even nowadays. Yeah, that'd be cool. I've always wanted to. I'm going on a road trip this December. I'm gonna hit all these other states. I really
Cool.
want to play. So like I'm gonna go to New Orleans. So
Oh,
the
cool.
dream is kind of like the bus scouts out of New Orleans just to say I did
Yes.
it
Yeah, yeah.
because I can say I busted New Orleans. That'd be
Yes.
cool.
They have, like, a bus like, a no some places you need, like, a permit to busk, but that's one of the places, right, you can just
You
go
just
do
do
it.
it, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Cool.
So out of all your life, what is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given?
Ooh. Successful people take chances.
Mm. Who that's what you by?
This random happenstance guy, right after I turned 21, I was at this random bar, like, right outside Philly, and I was walking out, and this guy just, like, looked me in the eyes like, "Hey, buddy, just remember this, most successful people take the biggest chances." It's like, wow, that was awesome. I really needed to hear that right then, and, yeah, it stuck with me, and I don't know.
Just a fortune cookie just walked by and
Yeah,
said,
it came in a
"Hey."
real life fortune cookie, kinda just a 3D fortune cookie, just kinda yeah.
Well, it's so true though, because
Yeah.
if you don't do anything if you don't try,
Yeah,
you ain't gonna go nowhere.
exactly, yeah.
So I think I may have asked this already, but what are the one things that you want to try at least once in your life?
Ooh. Hmm. The first thing that came to mind, and this is, again, random, but it's definitely an inherent danger level here, so hear me
Okay.
out. And I love these things, but I really wanna feed a hippopotamus. Like, that's just
This is one of the things.
I feel like I always see videos of people doing it, and they'll stick their hand in there, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that thing's just gonna clamp down and just snap their hands off." And I'm a scaredy cat, but I really wanna do it, and I really just kinda wanna be in the vicinity of a hippo because 'cause they're, like, really temperamental, and they can just, like, kill you any second.
Oh yeah, they're
But
really
I think they're
dangerous.
really cool, and, yeah, I'd really like to encounter one, and
Just to watch one like chomp down on a watermelon, and you're like,
yeah, yeah,
how does that? How
yeah,
can you just crush a
crush
pumpkin?
yeah, yeah, like,
And if
it's
your head was in there, it'd be gone.
oh my goodness, yeah.
They can go up against crocodiles.
They can snap a
They can
crocodile in
snap a
yeah,
crocodile in
yeah,
half.
yeah, they're the most dangerous
Animal.
animal, yeah.
Yeah, it dude, have you seen how fast they are in the water?
Yeah, and on land
frighteningly
too.
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah.
can go, like, 30 miles per hour.
They're like I don't know the statistic. I know like a cheetah is faster like
Way
long
faster
range, but a hippo like short range. Like a hippo can accelerate faster than
than a
any
cheetah.
like in a span of like
Like 0 to 60.
yeah, like 10 feet or something. A hippo can just like
Just go.
bam, like yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Never would have thought.
Yeah. It's like Storm Runner. Should I ride Storm Runner?
No.
Hershey Park.
Oh, yeah, the one that goes, shoo!
Yeah, that's what a hippo does. Just
So
kinda takes off really quick and
that'd
then
be the most terrifying moment
I
in your
know,
life.
but that's something I wanna be in, like, the vicinity of a hippo. That's something I wanna do. That's on the bucket list.
Sounds like you gotta go to Africa.
I know, yeah, I gotta get out of Central PA for sure.
Gotta get out of Central PA.
Yeah.
What's one place you would want, if you were to go on tour outside of the US, where would you wanna go?
Ooh, probably Romania.
Really?
Yeah, just 'cause my great-grandfather, and, Stanilla's Romanian last name,
I was wondering.
and,
It's European.
yeah, my great-grandfather the story I was always told, I don't know how accurate this is, but apparently he was a stowaway. He escaped from
The
Romania,
USSR? Or
from I guess from, uh, he, like, hopped on a ship and, like, lived at the bottom of a fishing ship for however long it took to get to the
out of
United
there.
States and, like, lived off of, like, raw fish and then just, like, jumped ship in Ellis Island and, like, swam in and snuck in the United States, and,
Wow.
um so, I always thought that was, like, a cool story, that's what my grandfather told me. I'd like to believe it's true. I'm sure it's very,
It's a little
very hyperbolized,
yeah.
but anyway, I've always just been kinda fascinated by Romania. Seems like a beautiful place. I actually just watched Borat again the other night,
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
and the town he's in is Romania.
Oh,
It's not
wow.
Kazakhstan, that's filmed in Romania.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I'd really like to see, like, Transylvania, which is where, like, the castles are and stuff, and I don't know what the music scene's like. I think that there's a really big, like, electronic, like, EDM scene there. Like, that's really Europe, you know?
Well, yeah, Europe, of
Yeah.
course, right. It's really funny, though, that, like, vampire castles are just EDM
Yeah,
pop.
yeah, Dracula, yeah. But there's a really cool, Michael Jackson video of him doing a show in Romania, I think in Bucharest.
Really?
Yeah, he was singing "Beat It." It's one of the only so much of, like, Michael Jackson stuff I found has been, like, stripped off the internet. I don't know, like his live stuff. It's really hard to
Oh,
find a lot of his good, like, live stuff for some reason, but
why?
there's a really highly produced, like, multi-camera angle video of him singing "Beat It" in Romania with a huge crowd. It looks really cool. So yeah, I'd love to play in Romania. So if anybody out there is from Romania, get me a show
Give
and a
me a
and a
show,
passport.
right? And a passport.
Yeah,
That's something I
or a
gotta get
visa.
on
Yeah,
a
visa.
visa. Yeah, visa, yeah. I wonder Hippo Death Wish.
Who said that?
The robot said that.
Yeah. Oh, he's really listening. God
Yeah.
bless you. Thank you.
And if you have any other questions for Alex Danilo, we'll take them. We have one more song of yours. Is it Aubrey?
Yes. So this is from the Folk Project.
Okay, so progressive folk. What is progressive folk?
I don't even know if it's necessarily progressive. It's just yeah, it's just this is the only song from the folk one that'll be out next month that has another instrument and it's banjo.
Banjo.
And I figured out some banjo chords just for this song. I've never really played banjo before. Yeah, this is just a little acoustic stripped down tune.
That said, this is Aubrey by Alex Danilo.
Saturday, the rain, it canceled all the plans. The sun came out when you did. Blown away that song in my mind. Gave me your body the night. Told the pilot all about the coming storm. Saw you before. It's why you betray them. Asked your father for some help. Knew that you'd be in for help. Wondering if you deserve what you wanted. Didn't talk to me for 3 whole days. Beg forgiveness, nothing great. I'll be leaving as soon as the sun will rise. Just giving all to paradise. We caught a train out to the west coast. Going where the wind blows. I'll be calling as soon as I settle down. Wanna find the perfect town. Through a dull dart at a map. Nearly hit the cap. Sunday morning says a spike the wine you make. Just want to live store-bought. All those little chairs and magic time. Drinking now. Stole the bottle, wandering through the armory. Stole the bell returning. No one even noticed. Blessings it'll brought. Mother cried the day you brought. Wash your wounds from blood you lost. Everybody told you this is coming. Look to you for 3 whole days. Gave you all to me. I'll be leaving as soon as the sun will rise. Just giving all to paradise. Got a train out to the west coast. Going where the wind blows. I'll be calling as soon as I settle down. Wanna find the perfect town. Through a dull dart at a map. Nearly hit the gap.
I can't help but notice the Beatlesque-ness of your voice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Yes. Love the Beatles.
So, where can people find you, or are you performing anywhere soon? Or
Yeah. Next, well, tomorrow's February.
tomorrow is
That's
February.
crazy.
Yeah,
Tomorrow's Groundhog Day Eve.
it is. Yeah, it is. I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do anything special?
Not maybe I'll buy a lottery ticket.
Maybe.
Seems like a good playing in Phoenixville on the 11th,
Hmm.
and then playing at Dobbs on South Street in Philly on the 22nd, which is my birthday, which
Nice.
is cool. Yeah, playing a show on my birthday. And then that's about all I've booked until June. Playing a show in June that I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about yet for some reason.
Well,
Well,
if you
that's-
want to find out, you can go over to your website. For sure.
yeah, it'll be it. Yeah.
That's alexstanilla.com. That's STANILLA
Yep. Very good.
.com. So, last question: what is one thing that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started?
Ooh, wow. Ooh. I think about this a lot. Probably that. It's not how good you are at anything, it comes down to how likable you are.
You're
And
absolutely right.
yeah, that's the most important thing if you're pursuing anything to any degree is you can be the most talented person of all time, but if people can't stand to be around you, they're not going to support you.
Right.
So it's very beneficial to that should come first as being a good down to earth likable person.
Circling back to your friend John, right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Was like,
Terrible sound guy, but so fun to be around. And yes, exactly,
and that's why he'll keep getting the job because
exactly.
he's a great person. Maybe not so good of a sound guy, but he is the guy that make you laugh.
Yep.
Well, this has been great, man.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Corey.
coming on.
Thank you. Yes, thanks for having me.
If you want to check us out, I am Corey Rosen. This is a story podcast. You can find us on the web by Corey Rosen Productions.com. That's CORYROSEN Productions.com. You can find more about me, the podcast, and all the previous guests that we have on, and all the future guests that we have on. Speaking of which, this Saturday I have on a band that I'm really, really excited to show you guys. They are the Big Fat Meaties. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I have, yeah.
And they are on my playlist like nonstop nowadays. I really enjoyed their work. They're progressive pop horn group, and they're incredible with all they do. And I'm really excited to talk to them. And then this Sunday, that's the Saturday. This Sunday, I'm having Cody Tyler.
Oh, cool.
He's coming on, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with him. And yeah, with all that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you guys later. Bye.